Hi, thanks for joining me again for this moment. Wendy Anderson with the channel Just Be. Just be. That's great, isn't it? And that's sometimes all you need to do is just be, just breathe, take those breaths, take a moment out just to enjoy that now moment. So my next conversations are about the 42nd generation that are here to anchor in the energies of new energy, of new management, I suppose. So we've got the Rainbow Children. So the Rainbow Children haven't lived on this planet before, but they have lived in other civilizations that are more evolved than we are. So they've already done the karma work. They've already lived on ascended planets. That's why they're here to help us now. So you'll know if you're living with a rainbow child because they are just beautiful to be around. There's just no frictional energy between you or them because, well, they've learned everything they need to learn, but they're helping you with your karma. So there's nothing frictional in the relationship between you and a rainbow child or older. So rainbow children are just lovely to be around. Crystal children, a little bit more challenging. So crystal children tend to be children that are more active. They may have labels on them like ADHD or but that just seems to be a trait of their particular generation. So a crystal child will not really follow authority as much as past generations. So in the classroom, they may just get up and walk off, and a teacher may deem it as, oh, this child's being disruptive or they're misbehaving. But these crystal children are very empathic, so they can feel what another individual is feeling just by sitting next to them, just by being with them. And if you're sat next, and if you are an empathic child, a crystal child, and you're sat next to another child that's having a little bit of a tough time at home or is just dealing with something that they're dealing with and their emotions are all over the place, if you're an empathic crystal child and you're sat next to another child that's having a tough time, sometimes that energy to be sat next to is just too much, so they'll just get up, walk off. They'll not want to be in that energy. So sometimes this can be around older crystal children as well, so they may be young adults, and they will this could go for rainbows as well. So their energies are completely different to past generations. They are more about the collective, they are more about information sharing between them, whereas older generations, they will have education is king and they will hold on to it as kind of their empowerment, so to speak. The 42nd generation aren't about that. They are already empowered. They don't need the achievement or certificates to say that they are empowered or clever or worthy, or they just don't need it. So they're more about the journey, they're more about the relationships, they're more about being in a working environment that is serving them. If the working environment isn't serving them, just get up and walk. They would rather walk out and not have a job than working in an environment that does not serve them. So if they are working in an environment which is more about how many items can we make, and literally work the worker to the bone, the rainbow or crystal child will deem this as vulgar and they'll just walk away from that kind of system. If it's more about a service-led system, if it's more about the quality what they are giving to the client or consumer, they will thrive in that kind of environment. So workplaces hopefully will have an effect with rainbows and crystals. As they get older, workplaces will change considerably. Industry will change considerably. It'll be more about the service rather than about the product. So there's also a new generation that are just coming in, that they've only just been born, kind of in the matter of weeks rather than months. I don't even know what to call them yet, so I call them energy anchor children. I don't know if anyone else has got a better name for them or not, but they are here to anchor in the high vibrational energy. I don't know what form that is going to take yet, but it will be really interesting to be around these children that will anchor in this high vibrational energy, whether if we're being racist or homophobic or those kind of trainings or thoughts, maybe these new anchor children will just not tolerate that. They're just not having that. But they won't do it in an abrasive way. They will just hold it steadfast. They will not be abrasive. They will not be frictional with it. They will just hold that vibration like an anchor, and they will be unmovable in their energy. So that's going to be really interesting to see these new children coming in. So ideas of how to deal with crystal children, that can be quite challenging as well. And I know, because I have one. You could be reading a book to a crystal child, and if you're thinking about work, tea, something else, and they ask you questions about that story, woe betide you if you are not present. Woe betide you if you are not in the now moment and you cannot answer questions on whatever they've been telling you or what story you've been reading. They will be angry, but they will not be confrontational either, because you are there to provide shelter, food, warmth, love. They will not disrupt that provision. They just won't. They'll not challenge it. So sometimes they may internalize some of this anger. So they may break toys, or they'll just blow off steam somewhere we're in their activity. So sports are really good for crystal children, to vent all of that energy. Some crystal children may even bang their heads against things because they don't know how to deal with the anger of their situation, because they won't vent it at a person, but they may vent it at an inanimate object. So they're the extremes of crystal children. They also have telepathic abilities, which is really interesting, that they can actually communicate with one another without even using the spoken word, that they can read people's thoughts, so to speak. With one another, I don't know if they can do it to other people that aren't receptive, but I know that they can communicate this way with one another, that people that are receptive on the same frequency, on the same wavelength, they do have this ability, which is really interesting, really exciting. Yeah, so they're here to anchor in an energy, they're here to anchor in the future. So those older generations that are worrying about what kind of world are we going to leave the new generations, don't worry about them. The planet is fine. She's already anchored in her energy. She's fine. It's human beings that need to raise theirs to kind of catch up with her. And these new kids are already, they've come in with certain traits that will help them cope with new management styles and new way of living. As some of these organisations are going to crumble, potentially us and them are going to be the ones that are going to build these things up to serve the collective, to serve everybody, to share the wealth more. The financial aspects of this planet is going to be more sharing. So that's a little bit about our beautiful new generation, the 42nd generation. And it's so ironic that we're seeing rainbows all over from these beautiful rainbow children, and they are so grateful. They even want to say thank you to the postman. They want to say thank you to everybody. They are so loving, and so beautiful to be around. So if you have a rainbow child, be grateful, because they are so beautiful to be around. If you have a crystal child, be grateful. They are teaching you to get off your phone, get off your device, stop numbing your mind with something else. Be present, play with them, draw with them, colour with them, do something with them, anything with them, and they will thrive on your attention. And that's what they're here to teach us, to be aware. So if they are being disruptive, just think, am I being present with them? That's what they're here to teach us. Enjoy them, enjoy these beautiful new children. They are amazing. So go away now, in this time of reflection. Spend time with your children, really get to know them. They're not at school now, so they're not stressed. They're not having to stick their nose in the book, so you only get them at tea time. You can spend the day with them, play games with them, get outside with them in the garden. They're amazing. You can learn a lot from them, as much as we can teach them things too. Enjoy them. I hope you've enjoyed this, a little insight into our new children, a 42nd generation. Enjoy the rest of your day. Draw some rainbows. Take care. Bye.